Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ace and I'm back with another reaction video. Here we go. Alright, so I know it has been a minute since I've done a Madonna reaction. In fact, it's been a minute since I've done any reaction. What can I say? Life got in the way. I've been extremely busy over these past few weeks, but I'm back. I haven't forgotten where I left off. What I'm going to do now is just go ahead and evaluate the You Can Dance remix album, give my thoughts of it, my rank of my favorite tracks on the album, etc., etc. I'm going to hurry up and do this quickly because Like a Prayer is coming up next. I haven't forgot about Like a Prayer. I definitely want to get into that one quickly, so I'm going to try to get through this one quickly so we can move on. So with that said, let's go. So Madonna's You Can Dance album, I think, was a clever idea. As her profile grew and as the 80s continued, it seemed like her music became more pop, mainstream, and even at times more adult leaning. It seemed like the concept of this album was designed to remind fans of her urban dance floor roots and club music beginnings and kind of harken back to the debut album. That said, I think that this album will work better in a club setting. I can't say that this is the type of album that really works as a album that you would listen to casually. Listening to the tracks while sitting down at times felt a little bit extraneous, and I found myself slightly, I hate to say it, but like almost disinterested with the turbulent provisions and excessive production quirks and the grating add-ons. This is an early remix album before remixes radically transformed the songs into brand new tracks. Here we have a collection of basically 12-inch versions that kind of expand the sections of songs but kept the original basis while tweaking the sound, while adding like new random dub elements. To a younger listener who came up in the second or third generation of remixes during the 90s and in the 2000s, the layout of this particular album might come off as maybe uninspired, boring, and at times annoying. I'm looking at you over and over, but I imagine that for the fans who were around during the time that these songs were released, the heightened elements of these remixes along with the newly remastered sound quality might have been satisfying enough, so I get it. The You Can Dance track listing is a bit peculiar. It seems odd that many of her biggest hits up to that point weren't here. Personally, I would have been curious to hear remixes for her more recognizable hits like Open Your Heart, Burning Up, or Papa Don't Preach, then Over and Over and Where's the Party. Even Physical Attraction, which itself is a bop, seems like a strange choice to include here than say like a Virgin or Lucky Star. Speaking of Physical Attraction, why didn't they bother to remix it? I didn't have a problem with the song being on the album, but I would have been curious to hear it presented with some kind of a new or updated spin. So this version of Over and Over is really grating to me. It's too hectic, erratic, noisy, and cluttered. While I didn't love Pretender, I think it would have made a better choice to represent the Like a Virgin album for this particular compilation. I just think that this version of Over and Over, it's really everything and the kitchen sink. They just did entirely too much with it, to the point where it really kind of it was, to my ears, it was just not pleasant to listen to.
Physical attraction.
So Physical Attraction was included in its original form without any remix or structural changes. It already epitomizes the club theme of this remix album, so perhaps there was no need to alter it. However, I still would have liked to have heard some kind of a sonic update or some kind of add-on to it. But, the original Physical Attraction was fire, so I wasn't mad hearing it one more time. So this holiday remix is subtly updated with some new sonic tweaks. It's not a radical reworking, but it does give the song a fresh, clear, and crisp feel. This is what I wish they would have done with Physical Attraction. It didn't need to be a radical overhaul, but some updated elements would have been interesting to hear. So I think Holiday was done right.
Get into the groove, boy, you got to prove your love to me.
So this remix of Into the Groove is ambitious and rousing. While some of the new elements and features feel excessive, I appreciate the crispness of the sound. Into the Groove has so much going for it already, so that even if you don't love the reworking of it, it's still fucking Into the Groove, you know what I mean? Into the Groove is almost like pizza, even a not great pizza is still pizza, so, Into the Groove is hot. I love Into the Groove. Where's the Party remix updates the song to better reflect the dance floor theme. It's bouncier, has a better drum beat, and it flows more smoothly. This is what Madonna's 1987 sound would have been like if she had kept that R&B urban timbre of the first album. I'm still not in love with the song, but I think this overhaul was pretty dope. So I enjoy the song overall, and while the remix sacrifices some of the original's gritty funk sound, it maintains the same basic structure. It's like they gave the song a fresh coat of paint and some new furniture. This is like a sonic renovation. I like what they did with it.
Spotlight, open up your eyes and see. Spotlight, shining down for you and me.
So Spotlight had to be number one for a few reasons. I mean, it was the only new song on the album, so it has that going for it. In addition to that, I also enjoyed the inspirational lyrics, the lively music, the urban dance beat, and Madonna's spirited vocals. Sonically, it feels like a merger of Madonna's True Blue Who's That Girl era with the earlier sound from 1983. So yeah, Spotlight is hot. I'm digging it. Ultimately, the motif here is music that either spoke to a dance floor or a nightclub mode, or was more inspirational in theme. Even if it meant gravitating more towards lower key album tracks than hits, it seems like they shied away from songs that were about love and relationships. But from what you all told me, this album was one of the first or the first of its kind. So if that's the case, I can see that they took a more idealistic, almost tentative approach in putting it together. There was no previous template to go by, so we should accept it for really what it is. There's a spirit and vibrancy that runs through the album that's endearing. However, aside from Spotlight and maybe Everybody, I don't think I'll be revisiting this album soon. Nonetheless, it was a valuable listen for anyone who's deep diving into her discography. And now, see you soon.